The badge was cold when she pressed it into my palm. Plastic, white, bold black letters, Housekeeper. My mother-in-law didn't smile. She never needed to. Power had already done that for her. The orchestra swelled behind us, violins cutting the air like glass. Crystal chandeliers reflected 1,000 versions of my face, none of them surprised. My wife saw it before I said a word. She laughed, not nervously, not apologetically, a clean, bright sound meant for an audience. "Food's for family," she said, already turning away. I looked toward the table. 370 guests, politicians, CEOs, old money wrapped in tailored smiles. There was no chair with my name. There never was. A waiter brushed past me, eyes sliding away, as if I'd already been erased. Someone clinked a glass. Applause rippled. The night moved on without my consent. I slid the badge into my pocket. My wife didn't look back. I felt something settle inside my chest then, not anger, alignment. I reached for my left hand. The ring came off easily, too easily. I walked to the head table. Every step was measured, calm, surgical. I placed the ring in front of her. No speech, no scene. 370 people watched a marriage end without realizing it had died long before tonight. They thought they'd put me in my place. They had no idea what I was about to do. The humiliation wasn't new. It was simply public. For years I had been the acceptable accessory, the quiet husband, the man with no last name worth mentioning. I'd been invited to events but never introduced properly, smiled at but never consulted. I told myself it was class difference. I told myself love didn't need witnesses, but love doesn't erase you. The first crack came 3 months earlier. A text notification lit up her phone while she showered. No name, just a single letter. M. Landing early. Miss you. I didn't confront her. I memorized the time, the wording, the punctuation. Denial is a luxury for people without pattern recognition. Then came the late nights, the sudden interest in privacy, the way her mother's contempt sharpened, as if she knew something I didn't, or thought I wouldn't survive knowing. At dinners, conversation stopped when I entered. Laughter resumed when I left. I began to feel like a guest in my own life. Still, I stayed, because I needed certainty, and certainty requires patience. I became invisible on purpose. I learned her routines. Her lies had rhythm. Tuesday flights, Thursday dinners, Sunday charity meetings that smelled like hotel soap. I pulled phone records, business accounts, expense reports hidden under foundations and donor lists. I watched her mother sign papers she didn't read. I watched my wife sign papers she didn't understand. The irony was exquisite. They thought I was dependent. They never asked who structured the trusts, who optimized the tax shelters, who designed the shell companies that made their wealth look old instead of fragile. I ordered a DNA test, not for a child, for lineage. Her family prized bloodlines, legacy, continuity. They never questioned the man who knew how to trace it. The results took 12 days. I slept beside her every night. I kissed her cheek every morning. Inside, I was already gone. The envelope arrived cream-colored, unassuming, like betrayal. I opened it alone. Her father wasn't her father, the man who built the empire, the man whose name crowned hospitals and libraries, not related by blood. Her mother's secret, decades old, carefully buried. I checked again, verified the lab, ran a second test. Truth doesn't wobble when pushed. That night, I asked her one question. Who is M? She froze, just for a second. It was enough. I slid the folder across the table. She didn't open it. She didn't have to. She knew. Her eyes filled, her mouth opened. No sound came out. I watched, calm, detached. I had already mourned her. The party was the final act, not for drama, for witnesses. After placing the ring down, I turned to the room. I spoke softly. Microphones are obedient when you know where to stand. I'd like to thank this family, I said, for teaching me the value of proper titles. Confusion, murmurs. I continued. As of midnight, the controlling interest in the foundation, the properties, and the offshore holdings transfers to the legal beneficiary. I paused. That's me. Her mother stood up. Her face collapsed inward. I looked at my wife. She was crying now, real tears. Too late. You married beneath you, I said, because you thought I wouldn't look up. Silence swallowed the room. I walked out before applause could decide what it meant. The city air felt clean. I didn't feel victorious. I felt precise. Power isn't loud. It doesn't gloat. It simply reassigns gravity. They lost everything that night. Status, narrative, control. I lost nothing. I left the badge on the valet stand. Housekeeper. Accurate, in a way. I had cleaned my life, and I never looked back.